Welcome to Voices in Learning podcast. Let's explore what learning really sounds like. Our guest for today is a very, very important personality. Welcome with me, Dr. Ronke Posh.
Ronke Adini, also known as Ronke Posh, is a board education leader, author, and parents coach committed to reshaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond. As the founder of a forward-thinking school and a driving force behind transformative initiatives in the education space, she blends British and Montessori approaches with cultural identities and emotional intelligence. A passionate advocate for child protection, ethical standards, and purposeful parenting.
Thank you for coming, ma.
Thank you for having me. Well done.
Yes, ma. Ma, we're here to talk about a very important topic.
Good.
It's about an international school coming into Nigeria and Nigerians not being in their top 4 position in their own country.
Yep.
Or Nigerians not treated right in their own country. But Nigerians, I think some Nigerians don't mind because of the money they make from the school. What do you think about this? What's your take on it, ma?
Okay, so there's this Yoruba saying, meaning that it's how you carry your thing that you will be carried. So what we're talking about today is really about recolonization and neo-colonization in our schools. We have become slaves in our own country. So I will not say that they're not treating us right. We are the ones that have allowed the experts, the international community to come here and treat us badly. We are the ones that have accepted it. We think they are doing us a favor. And this poor, limited mindset has come from the colonial era where we were abused. So right now, a lot of Africans, a lot of Nigerians are still living post-traumatically. So they're still traumatized and they're passing that trauma to their children from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. So when you come to find a situation where you have schools that will tell our own girls to cut their hair, the hair cutting came from the colonial era, for example, and they used it to subdue us. Now, we don't teach history. History erasure is intentional. They don't want us to know how badly they treated us. We also won't read our history. We will tell our girls to cut their hair, that their hair is unkept. We will tell them that their hair has to be, or even the boys, it has to look a certain way, not knowing that if men braided their hair. Historically, men braided their hair. Even some of them had beads in their hair. But when the expatriate child comes to the same school, they will let her pack her hair. They will let her put bow in her hair. All the things that we don't allow our own children to go through. Then automatically our children by default start having self-esteem issues. They feel the need to be submissive to this kind of children. It's aspirational to want to become. So we are the ones that are destroying the esteem to the point where when we go up higher and higher up in levels, I'm talking about governments, international communities, you find that a lot of Africans, a lot of Nigerians still struggle with self-esteem issues. They bow. They're submissive. Not everybody, it's not an absolute, but a lot of people struggle. I know. I've seen this home and abroad. I've lived in the UK for 20 good years. Wow. So I've seen it. I'm not just opening my mouth. I've seen situations where so many of our children, immediately they land from the airport, Oreoluwa becomes Ori. Chimamanda becomes Mandi. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
It's only the households that I know that are a bit consistent. But the typical Nigerian, they have to try to conform. They want a proximity to whiteness. We become slaves. We must wear wig. We must do this. So this topic is deep, and I'm glad that you've decided to talk about it.
Apart from the colonization,
Poverty
mindset.
Yes, because poverty doesn't start in your pocket. Poverty starts in the mind. And you find that a lot of people, a lot of Africans, a lot of Nigerians are poor. Look at what is happening in South Africa right now with xenophobia. They're getting rid of black people from their country, saying that they're taking their jobs and everything. Whereas we have a lot of white people in the country terrorizing you people. They've taken the land, they have the poshest of communities, and you people cannot say anything. It's your fellow black man that you're oppressing and beating.
True.
We have issues. We don't know who we are. And it's intentional. They keep on erasing our history, and instead of us to wake up, learn our history, we remove it from the curriculum. When they reintroduce it, we teach what is not enough to keep our children rooted. That is why you see a lot of women, they must bleach their skin. They must wear wig. They will lose the whole hairline. They will look anything but African. Because what? We have become slaves to the white man. So it's not as if it was colonial era. There's neo-colonization. It's still happening today. So those schools, you will see them. For example, those teachers will be there. There was a school I had an issue with in Yaba once upon a time. One of our children had got an admission into the school, and one of my parents said, come and look around and see if you like the school and blah, blah. I went there. We were treated so badly. We were shouted at. We were pretty much thrown out of the school. When I was speaking to the head, she said, you don't speak to people like this. He didn't want to hear it. I had recorded that conversation and I put it online. I got to speak to the board and everything. I put it on YouTube, I put it on my platforms. Children from around the world that had gone to that school said, this is how they abuse us in the school. This is what they've been doing. This is what this head teacher, their librarian contacted me. Teachers contacted me. I've been working there for 7 years. I've been working there for 11 years. This is what they do. So are you complaining to me? Why are you there? Why are you complaining to me? So if I did not make this noise, you will just stay in the school because you think teaching Oyinbo children is a big deal. You think teaching Oyinbo is better than teaching a black child? There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. I've had inquiries at our school where people say, do you have Oyinbo children? That's what you want to come to my school because I want to know if I have Oyinbo children. Those teachers, do you know oftentimes they're the ones that train the experts?
True. Yeah,
they train. In fact, there was a lady that telling me that she was working in the school. Is it Magada? I don't know the difference. She was working in a big school there, and she said that when they bring these people, that they give them accommodation, they will give them the plushes, they'll give them car, everything. She has been in the school for years and years and years. She trains when they come, and they keep bringing different ones, and she doesn't earn as half, in fact, a fraction of what they earn. And I always ask the same question. Why are you there? Why are you there? What is wrong with us? Why do we feel the need to be there? And sometimes, you know, the quality of people that they bring are not the best. When I lived in the UK, whether you like it or not, there's always going to be segregation. There's going to be a particular kind of people that you say they smell of maybe curry, or they smell of this, or they smell of that. It happens. And there's some people that they will live in certain areas, people will still discriminate against them because they behave, you know, maybe like from the hood or whatever, some kind of hood. I don't want to call names, but I'm sure you're feeling my vibe.
Yes, sir.
So those people, you might not even want to interact with them. This is where they will go and pick some of these teachers and bring them. So by virtue of their skin color, they're already sold to the typical Nigerian parent. Some of them are even supposed to be educated. They're sold, no matter what. But you will see the hardcore Nigerian that understands what education is. Well, understands what it is to teach a child and what it is to teach an African child. I hope they know that there's something else about teaching an African child. A lot of people think it's just anything. No. When you teach an African child, you have to understand that there's got to be a lot of empowerment. They're not just teaching anything because we have already been underserved generally by default. So you must boost the esteem of the African child. You will now put them in an environment where they are treated like second-class citizens. Parents don't get it.
Even in your country.
They don't, even in your own country. And this thing is happening and we are looking like mumus. And we are working for them. They keep coming into the country. They're bringing more and more schools into the country. And they're treating us like second-class citizens. I sat at a major conference and I was on a table in the front seat and I was with a new school that had opened at the time, also from abroad. And I had a few of the experts and a few of the Nigerians represented in this school, and I had from my own school as well. Someone was talking about mental health on via Zoom. She was in the UK, and one of the topics on the program was mental health. And they were saying that she has mental health issues. They were so disruptive on the table. I had to check with my Azina, is this a movie? Is this a movie? And people are putting their children in the school, making noise, doing videos that my children are there, they will speak phone. Are we designed? That's what you're paying. If phone is your reason for putting your child in a school, there is a problem with you. You have a problem. Does Chimamanda speak phone? Does Wale Soyinka speak phone? Have you done half as much as they have done? What makes you think phone is an age? If it's phone, I'll be speaking phone because I keep saying I lived in the UK, but intentionally. intention. In fact, when my daughter was in the UK, I intentionally brought her back to Nigeria because I needed her to be an African. And nothing, she must, yes, the strength of the Oyinbo culture is there. But why must we make it the main thing?
You know, the funny thing is, after paying thousands of dollars and pounds on school fees, the kids do not understand what they are teaching them in school. They will now come back to recruit these Nigerian teachers that they are saying bye-bye to as their lesson teacher. They will now start pricing them down.
That happened to us. When I opened the Posh school many years ago, I didn't know all these things. I now realized that when they take them to all these schools on the island, then during our holiday time, summer camp, they will tell us to be teaching them lessons. So we will put in all our effort thinking, okay, when we teach them very well, say, you should know this now, at this age, you should know this. We'll drill them and everything, thinking they will stay. No, they will not stay.
They will still go back.
They will go back because they want to belong. But however, they're not getting what they want there. Even parents were telling me that, I was telling them, why don't you want to keep your child anymore? Some of them will tell me that, oh, you know, my husband is a socialite. He has to be able to say that their child goes to a particular school. You know, self-esteem issues. And they will go for that, but they will come for lesson at ours. But I said, you know what? Stay where you are. I'm not going to be filling the gap for you guys. If you guys don't want to have sense, you don't want to have sense. Your children will know about Queen Elizabeth. They don't know about Queen Mamira. They don't know any history of Africa. Ask them how many countries in Africa they don't know. But they know everything about American history. They know everything about the European history.
And they pride themselves. They're happy. They're happy with it.
And they don't know anything. What type of parents are you? Think about it. Think about it holistically. Yes, we have issues in Nigeria, but is there any country that does not have its own issues? Why must we subdue ourselves to the point where even in our own country, our own schools, we will not support our own. We will keep on supporting these people. Even that school I told you in Yaba, do you know that the parents are afraid of the head of school, the man from the certain country? It's not even
Parents don't talk.
They don't talk. They're afraid.
Yeah, so they don't ask them to leave the school.
Can you imagine? And you're paying money.
Parents are transferring their low self-esteem to their children, which
by default. By default, because and then even the children, they are seeing these things. The children that have this particular race are seeing that, oh, when I did my conference, Proudly Rooted, is on YouTube. I brought Miss Universe of 2020, is it 22 or 23? I brought her on. She's mixed race, and she also spoke about when they go abroad, they're not treated like first-class citizens. But when they come here, they're treated like first-class citizens. They're given the special treatment. So this is someone that lived it experientially. And ultimately, they didn't feel they belonged anywhere. So they had to form a WhatsApp, not WhatsApp group, but a group where they felt a sense of belonging. Because if I go here, they don't think I'm good enough. If I go here, we are too good for, you know what I'm saying? And it's when they come to Africa that they treat them as if they are, they're all everything. So when they're like that, our own children will be thinking, oh, why are they treating them specially now? By default, you are transferring a low self-esteem to your own child. So our Ministry of Education in recent times says they're collaborating with a tertiary institution in the UK to bring them here. And I thought, what type of nonsense is this?
To come and do what?
Can we not invest in at least 1 or 2 universities and make them world class?
People are not even going to federal or state universities anymore. Everybody is going to private universities because they feel we are not getting it in federal universities. So now you're not bringing in an international
to actually validate it and to say we are not good enough. But we are the same ones that go and travel abroad and we make waves. There's a Nigerian in almost every sector in the world doing amazing things. But when it comes to our restaurants, we must put Lebanese. Our road, we must put Chinese inside it.
The restaurant is sold out.
Do you know when I wanted to open the school? Now. When I wanted to open the Posh school about 14 years ago, one of the advice I got was, I should find an Oyibo person. It doesn't even have to be so smart or know everything. Just put her or him there. People will come because the person is white. I said, because of that reason is the reason why I will not do it. Why are we so sick in the head? People will put Oyinbo for aesthetics.
That's what Nigerians like.
They will put Oyinbo for aesthetics, and you people will still be falling for it.
They've turned us to business center now, because I even heard that there's this new school that they just started in around Lekki, Aja side. That it's a franchise. So the Chinese people, they are investing into education,
and they will keep on coming,
and they'll make money because our Nigerians
the depth of the learning is not there. These children will continue doing lesson for the rest of their lives. The depth is not there. but it's the aesthetics and the fact that you can go to your parties and say, my child goes to something school and they pay XYZ dollars. There are schools that some parents will take their children to preschool in a particular school and a different one for primary. They will not pay the preschool school fees. They will they will not pay school fees for the preschool, but the primary they have to because they don't have any choice. No, they won't take it from them because it's Oyinbo people that are there. They will pay, but they will not pay the Nigerian that is drilling and creating, sorting out the foundation of your child. They won't pay that one. Those schools, they have to drive a certain car. They will get into gbese to go and buy the SUV and everything because they don't want to go to that school and then it's only their child that is not. So a lot of them are living in debt just to belong. And then you find that a lot of preschools, everyone will say they are even feeder schools into these schools. Yes. A lot of them, they don't pay them. They don't pay those people. They will pay one school fees for a term. They can pay it over 3 terms, or we pay in chunks. All that money they'll go and give the one that is in both school. When it's summertime or holiday time as it is, they will take their children to a Nigerian school to teach the child.
Now, what is our offense as a Nigerian? Is it bad to be a Nigerian? I don't understand.
At this point, it's a valid question.
Where did we get this slavery mentality from?
Yes, we were colonized. But when are we going to set ourselves free? The Oyinbo man is not going to set us free.
We have to set
That's why they try to recolonize us. Bringing everything in. They're doing it again. And we are watching, patronizing them. Before you know the private school in Nigeria that saved Nigeria because federal schools, state schools, public schools were failing, will also become like the public schools.
Because now as it is, private, there's now levels to it. Our public schools, I don't even know, even the kids of the poor man doesn't want to go to a public school. They want to go to a private school that is just a one room parlor.
And some people will call it mushroom school. And those people that call it mushroom school forget that those mushroom schools actually serve a community. Many times when children are not in school, they're often on the streets or at home being abused. Sexually abused, verbally abused, physically abused, sent on different errands that is beyond their age. Those schools, even if it's the 500 naira a day school, how many times that you like, often save children. So you can call them mushroom schools, but they have a function that they are still playing in society because in many cases, we have 18+ million children out of school that the government are yet to serve. And somebody has set up a school in one room like this and put children in there. Those children, that day, nobody is going to sexually abuse them. And you're saying mushroom school. They are serving somebody. They are serving somebody. We don't see the bigger picture. Everything doesn't have to be, classy, or all guns, rosy, all guns blazing and everything. Basic needs of the child, the fundamental human rights of the child needs to be served. Then we now talk about these ones that we're talking about.
I have 2 questions.
Please,
my first question is, why is it that there is no Nigerian international school outside Nigeria?
Why is it that there's no African curriculum?
True.
Everybody, British curriculum. Japanese curriculum. Montessori. Where is our African curriculum? We can't even unite. We can't even unite and live in one community. Look at Ghana too. Ghana telling us to leave. Ghana. That is our leadership. I can't imagine going to Ghana and they're throwing me out of Ghana. I have Ghanaian friends. I see Ghana as like Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? It's so close. We're so close. It's like Benin telling us to get away. But we fail so much. Our leadership has failed so much that people are flying and traveling anywhere. And now they're treating us badly. If we don't fix our land, we'll continue to get this kind of treatment.
Yeah, so why are all these? My second question is, why are all these schools? Why did they just wake up to Nigeria? Because for the past 2-3 years now, we have new international schools asking for thousands of dollars, and they're coming to Nigeria.
There's a big plan. They are going to recolonize us. The easiest way to recolonize a people is starting with the educational system. When they colonized us, they used to teach history. They used to tell the children that they were not good enough, that they were second-class citizens. That was the content of the curriculum. By default, the children did not think they were as good as the white man. will keep on coming. They're colonizing us. We are not seeing it.
I have exciting news for students. Airpeace is officially partnering with Voices in Learning this season. Drum roll! As part of this partnership, students traveling on the London route can now enjoy a 15% discount on flights with Airpeace. To qualify for these student discounts, individuals must be enrolled as a full-time student in accredited educational institution in the UK, Europe, USA, or Canada. This initiative is about supporting dreams, easing travel for students and families, and making global education more accessible. For more information, visit www.flyairpeace.com or click on the link in their bio. Thank you.
The schools are coming, a lot of international schools or foreign schools are coming from the abroad to Nigeria. One of the easiest ways to get to our children is through the schools. One of the easiest ways to influence a society is through the educational system. So they will keep on coming through our educational system. So if we don't wake up, some of the things that we don't even want, even right now, we're not paying attention to the textbooks. We know you were asking me about a book that was locally written and had violent content, and there was trouble. But a lot of schools, and the thing is that a lot of schools are compromised. Some schools have like LGBTQ content in the comprehension passages, and the schools are aware. But a lot of them are exchanging money. One is exchanging hands under the table or whatever it is. So they don't really care about your children. A lot of schools don't care about children. It's just another number, just another school fees. So any kind of content, they will push it through there's an agenda. There's a bigger agenda, but we don't want to see it. They're going to mess up our society. They'll mess up our society. Our African values are eroding. We all want to be posh. We want to do gentle parenting. We want to do all this stuff.
Gentle parenting.
We want to do everything, and we don't even understand it. We don't even understand it because I'm not an advocate of beating at all. I've written a book, 101 tips to stop the beating and shouting. I don't like people shouting at children. I don't like people beating children. I feel there are ways around it. So I'm not saying that gentle parenting, I'm not for beating children, but I'm telling you that those schools are coming with an agenda. It's not just money. They're going to mess up our children with values that are not our own values.
A lot of children don't have values anymore.
They don't have values. And the thing is that they have identity crisis issues. They don't know who they are. They don't want to have anything that is, they don't want to be Afrocentric. They want to be Eurocentric. They want to speak Fone. They want to have a weave. They want to bleach their skin. They
want to do their body.
They want to do their body. No, even, do you know what? Oyinbo doesn't do their body as much as our own. They actually genuinely don't do
so
as much.
Where did we get that from?
I don't even know. I think it's more of African African Americans. Yeah, they're the ones that kind of like do those kind of things, Latino, Mexicans kind of thing. But the typical European doesn't augment their body in any way. So we have extreme issues. We have this desperation to be white. Successful footballers once they have some more money, they want to marry the white person, to elevate their status. We keep believing that we don't really have a lot of the Denzel Washingtons and people like that, Will Smith and the likes that will stay with their African. And I'm not racist in any way. I have friends all around the world, but they also stick to their own.
True.
The Chinese stick to their own. They still speak like the Chinese people. The Finnish people still do like that. The Germans speak German. The Russians speak their Russian languages. Everybody speaks. The Spanish speak their own languages. We are messed up. We have 250 plus registered languages.
Our kids can't even speak our dialect.
We don't want to speak our own language. Even Pidgin, was endorsed by the Igbo person. Growing up, we didn't believe that Pidgin was it. If you spoke Pidgin broken English years ago, they would think you're bush. But now, because BBC English has come,
Pidgin.
Igbo person has said, okay, that we now endorsed it. You now see that anybody can be speaking pidgin English now. But that was never the norm. Until they say it's okay. Oyinbo people, we allow them to set our standards for us, our beauty standards, our educational standards, every single thing. The first university was in Africa, in Ethiopia. The white man did not bring Christianity to Nigeria, to Africa, contrary to popular belief. There are so many things that we've not been taught at history. I myself, that I learned as an adult. Because if you don't know your history, you're not powerful.
True.
The power that you have comes from knowing your history. There's some people that will have made a different decision in their lives if they knew their history.
Because if you know that somebody is coming from this particular place and you're from that particular place, you can also learn from that person and follow the person's steps. But our children now, they're learning more of international things. Like my son will jump up to say, oh, mommy, Ronaldo, I want Ronaldo background in my room. Do you know Nigerian footballers? Do you know footballers in Africa? I would mention only one or two. Just because the kids don't have role models.
They don't have the idols. They don't have the idols. We are sending our children abroad, they don't want us. Are we not seeing everything that's happening?
They don't want us. So
they don't want you abroad. They don't want you.
Very tough.
You are saying, oh, Nigeria. I get it. But if you don't build in Nigeria, no matter where you go, you are never going to be accepted. That's part of the reason why I just carried my bag and came back. I was doing well in the UK. And I was not, this is not to disregard anybody, I was not doing care job. I was doing I was earning. Very well settled in the UK. 2 decades, not a joke. And I went for my A-levels. So I was not struggling in any capacity. But when I had my child and I started to see the orientation, I said, hey, this is not what I want.
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home, here we go. Because this isn't what I wanted for her. You're flying to a country where you're not accepted. You go online. They don't want to be in Nigeria, but they're always on Insta blog and all the other blogs. They don't know anything about the history of what is happening in their own country that they're staying. They're still hooked on Nigeria.
But you even know the funny thing. So
that don't want them.
I have a close family friend that will say, so when they want tutors from us, they ask for math, they ask for science. So for the science, they give us the curriculum, the teachers read, they support the children, breaking down and all that. But what it has to do with language, English, they will be like, they don't want English teachers from Nigeria because they will confuse the children with the pronunciation. I'm like, you're doing well where you are. Do you have pronunciation issues? And have you been able to upgrade yourself? Did you learn? So why do you think, because English is, there is more to English than pronunciation.
Than the accent.
There's critical thinking, creative writing.
Yeah.
Now are your kids reading? So, well, like you said, man, Nigerians, we need to come out of this, our slavery mentality. And another thing is, I think the way the Lebanese people, they are beginning to take over our hospitality business in Nigeria. I believe these people are also coming to take over our education, which is now going to be a major problem because once we keep
looking like Momo.
Or is it that we don't have there are fantastic schools in Nigeria that people can take their kids to?
There are schools in Nigeria that are still better than many of the schools abroad. When people some people will be shouting that, oh, they're treating their children in a certain way, forgetting that when you leave Nigeria and go abroad, it doesn't mean that everywhere abroad is posh and nice. Some people will go to certain areas, and I don't want to call it because I don't want to be offensive. But there are some areas that even when I live in the UK, I never stepped there for one day. I won't leave Nigeria to go and live in those kind of areas. Areas where the school education system is very poor. There's a lot of racism going on there. The quality of life, the influence that your children, that surrounds your children. Very, very poor. There's a woman that was crying online that they're treating her child badly. She told the police and everything. The police, they are stressed. They don't have time for some of your racial issues. Your child will leave Nigeria and go and join gun violence in the UK. Go and join children in the hood. What's the point? And you'll be on posting online that you are in the abroad. There are still a lot of schools in Nigeria that are doing well. We must invest. Nigerian government, we must invest in our own educational system. Those parents that are traveling abroad and saying that our system of education, I'm doing it for the kids. I'm doing it for it's a lie. You're not doing anything for any kid. If you're doing it for the kid, you won't take your children abroad and put them in anything saying free school, free school. There's no free lunch in Freetown. Some of those free schools is where your children get influenced in terrible ways. They go that the dregs of society. Sometimes you have to put money to get what you want or move to the outskirts where education can still be seen as something, but your children again may face racial issues. So the issues are many.
Even in the US, the public schools is based on districts.
Yeah.
So most of our Nigerians, we like to go for cheap things, So the schools that they will put under our districts are not even fantastic schools. Then we end up putting our children in those schools.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they now become what we don't want them to become.
And if you're in Nigeria, they will not become like that.
Yes.
If you're in Nigeria, I put a post on Instagram one time. It went viral. Many people were mad, but many people understood what I was saying. And I said to them, "You are saying that the education system in Nigeria is not good, but you used it to jackpot." Bam. It's not good, Abi. But you are the doctor in the UK or the US with the same degree. I don't care of any other professional certifications you went to do for. That's your background.
Exactly.
Now for this Nigeria, you get them.
So many people are doctors.
If you had done your studying abroad, you would have paid thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars. In Nigeria, how much did you really pay? And you got quality education. But now you open your big mouth and say that the education system is not good. It's not good, but you are still using Nigerian lesson teachers for your children.
For online.
Do the maths. Find X. Find X.
True.
So people just do things. They just copy. They don't think deeply. It's just like the story of the frog that was in water. They kept boiling it until it became cooked. It was there, absorbing the heat until it did not know when to run away. It didn't know when to run away. That is what is happening. People will copy, people will endure things. They will see people doing other things in other communities. They don't question. They say, are you Japan? Everybody Japan around here. Let me follow them. Let me tell, are you not going to Japan? The pressure that came with that Japan when it happened.
People moved though. I know a lot of teachers that moved and ended up as caregivers. They didn't follow up. They didn't continue as a teacher.
Yeah. Some of my teachers as well, they jackpot. They jackpot because a lot of them anyway, when they go there, they just even can't cope. The bills alone that you will face. So they don't do the grounding. They just see people on social media, that's what they see. Now I'm not opposed to people jackpot, don't get me wrong. I know that it's challenging in Nigeria. So I'm not opposed to jackpot, but think about there's jackpot and there's when you jackpot, there are different levels to this jackpot thing.
Now, coming back to the school I mentioned in VI. Okay, so I remember there was this lady. She's a classroom teacher. We talked about these Nigerian teachers. They've been in school for a very long time. So when these expats come, they will be the one to train them. On this is how it is done here. You have your expertise, but you are the best chef in the world. But this is how it is done here. This is how I cook my food. So there's this teacher that saw our homeroom teacher. So she's an assistant teacher. She saw our homeroom teacher's salary for a month. She found out that it was her own salary for the year, even more than. She dropped her resignation.
Instant.
Because she feels, I know more than this person. I do the work.
But that's an exception. That's an exception.
Of course.
Some of them will still take, and they will relying on the tips that they will give them, the 2,000, 35,000 that the parents will be giving them, and people, they will just stay put.
But my thing, don't you think the government failed us in the sense that...
the government failed us in every way now.
Especially when expats comes into your country. There's no way a Nigerian wants to go into a Nigerian wants to start an organization in a country. There should be rules and regulations in terms of what is the benefit. As in, what are you giving back to my people? Apart from putting my people as cleaners, below. So in terms of the first 3 people or first 4 people that in charge of that organization, there should be a Nigerian there. So don't you think the government has failed, where a school will come into the country and all the top administrators will be expert staff, and Nigerians will just put a Nigerian somewhere, and the voice doesn't even matter.
There's a major company in Nigeria that we all know, and there's no more freedom of speech in Nigeria. If you talk now, they will come and arrest my enemy. Right now, we're looking for Justice Crack. We don't know where he is. All he talked about was the Nigerian army not being fed properly. How can they fight bandits when they are eating this smogari? He put the picture that the army people had sent to him. They invited him over. This is the 5th day. We don't know where Justice Crack. As of yesterday was 4 days. This is the 5th day. We don't know where Justice Crack has gone. We've seen what happened with the bomb bread issue and everything. This answer to what you want to say, if I say it, they will come and arrest my enemy in Nigeria. But we have this major company that they too, recently they hired a new CEO, and it was also a foreigner. So we are doing it on all levels, saying that we're not good enough. But the same Nigerians are going abroad and they are good enough abroad for some reason. But when they're here, we don't actually think that we are good enough. We are doing it to ourselves and it's not helping us. We must invest in our own. We must believe in our own as Nigerians, as Africans. We must not have this default state. I know we've been programmed to believe it, even from the schools as we've been saying it. But there must be an awakening. And we must realize that we are good enough and we can do it. Our teachers must also have the self-esteem to say that. That's why I did mindset makeover course for the teachers. So they can believe in themselves. To be able to say, I'm good enough. Nobody has to talk to me in this capacity. Look at the video that happened the other day. A parent went to the school to slap, in fact, the husband and wife. You saw the video.
Yes,
the husband slapped the teacher. The wife slapped the teacher. Because they don't value teachers.
I think our teachers, most of our teachers also, apart from the general slavery aspect, teachers suck up to parents a lot. Like they don't have pride,
because they've not been trained in the typical what's it called, training school. They cheat their way through the system. Ideally, they should be grounded and they should also teach them to be confident. You don't have to be rude, but you must be able to hold your own space.
Yes.
A parent comes and they're a minister of something, doesn't matter. The parents in your school, the child of a celebrity, they're not gods. They're not.
That's why I worked. Whoever it is, when you come in, the experts look at you as, even when they know that you are the this, they look at you like, we're all equal. But a typical Nigerian person that knows will be everywhere, shaking, like, oh, this person is around. Do you know who this person is? So do you know who you are is a big deal for people in Nigeria, and that mindset needs to change. Like, okay, we respect people that are at the top. On the other hand, that doesn't make us, as in, forget who we are, also our identity. Because abroad, when they see that you are getting this thing right, they grab you and siphon everything from your head for the betterment of their own organization or the country. But here in Nigeria, I don't know. Even when we were sure that we've gotten it, there's just something that just restricts us for us to feel okay. That person that has the light-skinned person definitely knows more than us. So we need to understand our identity. We need to embrace our identity and at least make the best out of what we can do.
And it starts in the homes, in the schools. You know, I also released a single last year. It's called Rooted. It's on Spotify and all streaming platforms. It's called Rooted. And what was I saying? I said, I know who I am. I am black and proud. I know who I am. I'm a child of God. Someone is trying to tell me who I am. Someone is trying to tell me I'm not right. So it's a song that affirms children from an early age so that they can understand who they are, because nobody is affirming per se significantly our children. That's why they feel like they have to bow. They feel like they have to be like somebody else. But we must tell the African child that you are good enough. Tell your children that they're enough. Tell your children that black is beautiful. Black is like gold. That's actually what black is. Black is equivalent to gold. And that's literally what it is. Even our fashion, beautiful fashion, we will trade it for logos. Logos that they will go to China and make it for $15 or less and sell it to you for thousands. You will jump on it again because of your self-esteem that is low. And then you don't want to patronize your reasonable African vendor.
I saw something that went viral recently about Tanya Omotaya talking about vendors. So that a typical Nigerian will say, oh, this Get Ready With Me that they're doing. So people will say, oh, my bag is from Louis Vuitton, my slippers is MS. Then you're wearing a Nigerian outfit and you're like, oh,
you won't tag it.
And you say they didn't pay for it. You paid for it. Louis Vuitton gave you money to
It's all esteem. It's all still this esteem thing that we are struggling with. The problem is so deep, and our children don't have role models. They don't have role. See, my hair is like this intentionally. Like now, I've not worn a wig in a long time. All the bone straights that I was also programmed to wear, I don't wear them anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with wigs, don't get me wrong, but we've become slaves to wigs. The minute our children graduate, they want to do their graduation with wig, with weave on, with lace front. Even 5-year-olds are wearing lace front now. Everything is just artificial, and everything is Eurocentric or just something else that is not who we are. Where are they seeing the models that are African?
No, none. Our role models are wearing
the cartoon that they watch. Where are they seeing African cartoons that make sense?
That's a niche.
That will, people are creating it, but people need to collaborate and make it big.
True.
So you are doing a good production. You have just 100 kidney. Maybe you should collaborate. All those small, unique. But you know, Nigeria, if you don't have your own, they don't believe that they have. Everybody wants to do their own. We don't believe in collaboration. But in this particular thing, if you want it to catch fire and be big and to scale, we need to collaborate. Because I've seen some beautiful African inspired animation, but they don't have the traction.
See the traction Miss Rachel gets. Like every newborn all over the world. Well, Africans, we can do it because we have this knowledge. But people are not.
Again, we need to collaborate. Again, we need to collaborate.
Ma, so in closing, what will you say to parents? A parent trying to choose a school for their children? That's the first question. Second question, for staff.
I'll probably forget it. So
okay,
let me do it one at a time.
Okay.
I'm at that age. I'm at that age where I forget everything. So let's do it one at a time. Let's go.
Okay, so a parent trying to get a school for their children, what should they look out for?
I get this question a lot, and every time it changes. What they should look out for changes all the time. There are many things you should look out for. Obviously, people look at the aesthetics. Aesthetic matters. You want your child in a nice, healthy environment. You want technology. There was a time when we were talking about technology in the classroom, blah, blah, blah. But now we see that there are countries that are throwing technology out of the classroom because it's dumbing down our generation. It's said that this generation is the dumbest generation. This is a generation that has never intellectually, they've not superseded the generation before them. This is the first generation. So we also talk about child safety, child safeguarding in the school, teacher quality in the school. But in the context of what we're talking about now, when we talk about the esteem of our children, the colonization of our children, the recolonization of our children, turning them to slaves in their own land, then you should check. You want to put your child in a school that is foreign, as international, and your child is a minority in their own country. They have more foreigners than Africans or Nigerians in the school, and you're comfortable with that. Ask yourself why. Why are you doing it? Knowing fully well that they will still treat those foreigners better than your own child. Think about it. Stop telling your children to manage in the schools. Stop telling your children to be the ones that they will plait their own hair in the school, but the foreigners are allowed to do as they please in the school. You are in a school in your own country, and your children are made and forced to wear blazers like if they are in the winter. They are sweating. You say, oh, they have air conditioner. We are not designed for blazers. Our wigs that we wear, they're all products of colonization. We are still carrying that colonial mentality. How are you empowering your child to be an African? Even you as a parent, are you empowering your child to be an African? Does your child know what your African hair looks like? Or is it only when you're in the house, you do the all back? Then when you're going out, you wear the blue straight? Everything that you do is subliminal. You're one way or the other teaching your child one thing or the other. So I'm not a supporter of international school in the capacity that my child will be a minority in their own school. If phone is the selling factor, if history is not really taught, and how does a foreigner teach you your own history more than yourself? They're going to teach you what they want you to hear. They won't teach you that they treated your parents and your forefathers badly. They won't teach you all that. You need to begin to consider those things. Otherwise, you would have raised a child, and by default, that child will always have an issue with their self-worth, their self-esteem, who they are, their identity. And you don't want that. That's the first question.
Thank you, Ma. So the second question is for people, for Nigerians, for Africans working in these international schools. How are they able to stand on their feet, to not losing their job? Also, for them to have self-worth in terms of respect, get respect from people they're working with. And when is it time for them to carry their bags?
You know, when I started this podcast, I said, the typical Nigerian child does not have self-esteem. And they know. So even the ones online, they don't have self-esteem. I always say that anything I say is not an absolute, but a lot of teachers, generally, a lot of them, people see them as glorified house helps, and that is how they see themselves. So if they don't empower themselves, if you ask a child, what are you reading? Which book are you reading now? They are not reading any book. They are not developing themselves in any capacity. So how are you going to hold your own space? You will continue to be a slave in that school. You will continue to serve them for the next 10, 20 years. And there's nothing wrong with serving for 10, 20 years if you are being treated well. But oftentimes they're not treated well. You think they're doing you a favor. You think you can go and tell your friends that I'm working in Oyinbo school and it's a big deal, because the quality of people that are your friends have a very poor mentality. You know, they said if you're around 5 poor people, you are the 6th poor person. If you are around 5 people with low self-esteem, you are the 6th person with the low self-esteem. Go into other circles. It doesn't even have to be in the educational sector. Find people of like minds. Let your fire light another person's fire and vice versa. Grow to the point where you can hold your own space. You know your content and people will seek for you. And I'm sure that will submit CVs from the application, just the way they submitted it with no subject or no greeting or typographical error, you know that you don't even want to consider the teacher. There's a teacher that they will submit their CV that you'll be begging, you'll be wondering, you are looking for those kind of teachers right now. So which type of teacher are you? When was the last time you did any sort form of personal development, even if it's to go to YouTube University to learn something? So a lot of you are staying there because you are poor. Irrespective of what they pay you, you are actually poor, very, very poor, poorer than a beggar. Why? Because poverty is not how much you have in your pockets. Poverty is how much you have in your mind. So the moment you begin to expand your mind, you will not take that kind of rubbish from anybody. And they will know, even without you opening your mouth, they will know which Oyinbo wants to come and meet me and treat me badly and treat me anyhow. That's what happened. Kilo, what, do you know what I'm saying? What? I will respect you, you will respect me back. It's a mutual thing. Even if I'm doing you a service, you know. But our parents don't help promote our teachers. Our government does not promote our teachers. They don't promote themselves. Nothing. So you will stay there for a long time. Unfortunately, they think they are doing them a favor. They think they're doing them. And if you ask them now, they will tell you that they teach us badly in Nigerian schools. But they will go there and take it. They'll go to the international schools and take it from there. Because that some of them, some house helps now, they like to go and work with Oyinbo people.
Yes,
even if they beat them there, even if they sexually abuse them there, they tell us that they are working with Oyinbo people.
I know chefs still say they prefer to work with
they work in Oyinbo. So the issue is so deep and so nuanced, so exhausting, to the point where it's just difficult, but it's not impossible to begin to address people's mind. And that's why I have the organization, and it's on Instagram, it's called Proudly Rooted. Proudly Rooted. Be rooted, know who you are, identity-wise. Know who you are. Begin to know your history. Begin to take pride in who you are. There's no white man that is better than you, and vice versa. We are all humans, and we have to look at human beings as humanity, irrespective of gender, irrespective of race, irrespective of social status. We must learn to treat one another with dignity. Right. We must do that. So unfortunately, I wish I had a straightforward answer to that, but until those people are able to break free from the bondage of the poverty of the mind that currently exists, there's no change that is going to happen.
Okay, I think you've answered part of my last question, which is, what would you like to say to Nigerians, new moms, older moms that have raised their children? Like, what would you like to say to them in terms of owning their culture?
The thing is, if you're a new mom, you can only give what you have. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you are not a confident mom, if you're a mom that doesn't believe, that is bleaching, for example, you are bleaching, you are wearing wig, you are picking for, now you're already fake in every way. There's nothing authentic about you. What are the chances that you're going to raise an authentic child? If you don't have self-confidence, self-esteem, if you feel as if you must hang around an Oyinbo person to be validated, there's no way that you're going to raise a child that has self-esteem. So work on yourself first. Every individual has to work on themselves. The greatest of the greats, they've all worked on themselves. They have people that they follow, that people that mentor them, people that help them. Work on yourself as a new mom. Parenting is not innate. It's not something that because you birthed a child, you already know how to be a parent. Learn. So new moms need to make sure that they are lifelong learners. Even older moms need to know that whatever was happening in their time, things have changed. There are new ways of doing things, and we must be open-minded enough to want to learn, because a lot of things have changed. You must connect with your children, know what is happening. In recent times, a 17-year-old boy was killed by his friends. You saw that?
I saw it, yes.
He was killed by people that he knew that were close to him. Where did the parents not, what was it that they didn't see? What was it they did not know? This is not blaming the parents, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say that we now have to know that there are different ways. We must be friends of our children's friends and their parents, for example. My daughter is not in Lagos, but everywhere she goes, there's an app that I used to know where she is. As I've come here now, the app is telling her that I'm right here. Do you know what I'm saying? It's accountability. It's accountability. We can't trust anybody anymore. And it's not because, somebody is from his low social status or something like that. The schools that went viral recently, that children are beating one another, maybe they were from a higher social strata of society. So it's not a respecter of... So we must keep on learning. We must stop copying people. Stop saying that because somebody went to that school, that's why you are going to that school. Somebody bought this kind of thing, so you also buy something. Stop copying. Know who you are. You may be the only one that is doing it, but as long as you are convicted correctly, you believe it and you trust your God and it aligns with your values, do it. You may be the odd one out, do it. And that's how you also teach your children to stand out in the midst of evil that continues to prevail in our society. Stop being copycat parents, copycat moms. They just want to play dates, sleepover. You gather. When my daughter was in secondary school, we went to the school, within 1 week, they are already carrying each other inside each other's cars and going to spend the weekend together. What type of thing is that? I was even going to do a reel today talking about some parents that when my daughter was in school, there were some parents that they saw their names online as drug dealers and stuff like that, but they're still in the same school. I don't know if it's clear.
No.
So my daughter was going to a school. Every now and again, they will see something in the media. It will be a parent of another child in the school. Maybe they've caught EFCC has caught them for doing something, because it was a lot of people, the heavyweights were in the school, but their hands were not always clean. But because you are all going to this school and you feel as if everybody they're okay, they are friends. So they have money in the house does not make them moral, does not make them good, does not mean they can't abuse your child, does not mean they're not taking drugs, does not mean that they're not killing people, does not mean that they're not doing rituals. Stop releasing your child to just anybody. No child needs a play date, a sleepover. Every play date must have an end time. 6, 7, 8 o'clock, go to your house. There's no child that needs to sleep over in anybody's house.
To even do what?
What are you sleeping over? Even if it's their cousins also touch one another. Now, if there's no option and you trust the person, maybe you are in the hospital or something, I get it. But just for the sake of it, you don't need a sleepover. You don't need to trust anybody. Everybody is guilty until proven innocent. Let's stop it. We just copy and do anything that society is doing. And it's killing our children. Are we not seeing it? What are you going to do differently from this podcast? What are you going to learn from what we are doing here at Voices in Learning? What are you going to learn? What are you going to do differently? What have you learned? Put it in the comment section. Let us see. Let us hear. Let people learn. Because we don't do this podcast for the sake of doing or for the sake of engagement or it's to change and transform society. Parents, please, wake up. A lot of children are raising children. We know that. That's another, children that don't have any grounding, they don't have any home training, they are also having children. That's another kind of worms.
And your children ends up meeting those children in school. And you end up leaving your children to go and
do play dates and play sleepover. I'm sure you get the gist.
Thank you, ma. Thank you for joining us on Voices and Learning. I would love to know what stood out for you. Connect with us, share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, let's keep exploring what learning really sounds like. Thank you.